Assalamu alaykum. Welcome to the Islamic General Knowledge Quiz with 40 exciting questions. You'll have around 7 seconds for each one. Test your knowledge and answer quickly. Let's start. Bismillah. Which sacred structure do Muslims face when they pray? Kaaba. Which prophet was the first human created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Adam alayhi salam. In which month is the obligatory fasting? Ramadan. What is the call to prayer called? Azan. How many obligatory daily prayers are there in Islam? Five. Which angel brought revelation to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wal salam? Jibril alayhi salam. What is the holy book of Islam called? Qur'an. Which prophet built the ark by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command? Nuh alayhi salam. What is the Islamic greeting of peace? Assalamu alaykum. Which city was Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wal salam born in? Mecca. Which prophet was swallowed by a big fish by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will? Yunus alayhi salam. Which prophet was able to understand the language of birds by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission? Sulaiman alayhi salam. How many chapters are in the Qur'an? 114. Which prophet led the children of Israel across the sea by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command? Musa alayhi salam. is the only woman mentioned by name in the Qur'an? Maryam alayha al-salam. What is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Mecca called? Kaaba. Which prophet was tested with illness and remained patient? Ayyub alayhi al-salam. Who was the first caliph after Prophet Muhammad alayhi al-salatu wa al-salam's passing? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. What is the minor ablution before prayer called? Wudu. Which prophet was known for his dream interpretations by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will? Yusuf alayhi al-salam. What is the direction of prayer called? Qibla. Which angel is in charge of blowing the trumpet on the Day of Judgment? Israfil alayhi al-salam. Which prophet was commanded to sacrifice his son as a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Ibrahim alayhi salam. What is the first pillar of Islam? Shahada. Which prophet was given the Psalms, Zabur? Dawud alayhi salam. Who was known as the Lion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib radiyallahu anhu. What is the Arabic name for obligatory charity given yearly? Zakah. Which prophet was raised to the heavens by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and has not died yet? Isa alayhi al-salam. What is the special night in Ramadan when the Qur'an was revealed? Laylat al-Qadr. Which prophet was thrown into the fire but saved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command? Ibrahim alayhi salam. What is the day of the weekly congregation for Muslims? Friday. Which prophet had the staff that turned into a snake by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will? Musa alayhi al-salam. Which battle was the first major battle in Islam? Battle of Badr. Which prophet was blessed with a kingdom and great wisdom by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Sulaiman alayhi salam. How many names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are commonly known as Asma al-Husna? $99. Which prophet spoke in the cradle by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission? Isa alayhi salam. What is the first surah in the Qur'an? Al-Fatiha. Which prophet was given the Torah? Musa alayhi salam. What is the Arabic word for fasting in Ramadan? Sawm. Which prophet was tested by being cast into prison but remained patient? Yusuf alayhi al-salam. Thanks for playing. Drop your score in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more quizzes. Assalamu alaykum.